Good afternoon. This is Brian Shannon from Alpha Trends Blogspot. It's Tuesday, the 21st of November, 2006, and the market's just closed. I've got the semiconductors on the screen right now. Semiconductors, the SMH was down about 57 cents today, or about 1.5%. And, looking at this, no damage done at all. The support at $35 did hold. We've got a rising 10-day moving average that's catching up to this market. And it looks like the 20 is about to cross back up through the 50 as well. And when that happens, it'll kind of be more of a confirmed bull market. So I think if we just kind of pause here, that's very healthy. Again, the support at 35 is what we were looking at as, or 35 was the level of support we were looking at, and that did hold up very strong today. So we've had a few tests of that level. And, as I do say, the more time support is tested, the more likely it is to fail. So we have to keep a careful eye on the market in this area. What we were looking at yesterday in order to get very bullish was a move past $35.70, and that did not occur. So I was thinking that if we got above the 35.70, then we would see a quick shot up to that 36.15. So the market's telling us it needs to digest a little bit further. And looking at a 10-minute time frame, it is somewhat worrisome that we're down at these lows and didn't get a better bounce from there. I think that it's quite possible that we might see a little bit of a shakeout and then a rally, and that would actually be a very healthy thing for the market if it came down to maybe 34.80 and then shot back up. And once it got back up above these highs right here at about the 35.20, 35.25 level, I think that's where the buyers are really going to come back in and have the power to then push it past that 35.70 level and then up towards that 36.15. It seems as though it might not happen probably tomorrow. We've got the holiday coming up, and tomorrow should be probably a pretty quiet day. But just because the market's quiet, and looking at the Nasdaq 100, the Nasdaq it had another day of gains. It was up 6 cents here. It does seem to be tiring somewhat, but the trend of higher highs and higher lows is definitely still intact. So we're going to continue to look at, where's the support? I'd say right now, let's say 44.20 and then $44 a share. Those are the levels we want to focus on now, and that's about where that 10-day moving average is, 43.80. So we've got, I think, some pretty good support below this market, but we are extended. We've been up a lot of days in a row here, and a pullback should not come as a surprise at any time. I don't know what the catalyst is going to be for that, but you can clearly see that selling short does not make any sense in this market as it continues to grind higher. The S&P 500 is also seemingly kind of sluggish up here, but it continues to tighten up as far as these higher lows go, and I think breaking past the short-term resistance up at about 140.80 could lead us to another couple days of gains as maybe we see short sellers get squeezed once again. The 148 level is where I think the mid caps need to get above for the next push higher, and this group is kind of tightening up in here as well. A little bit of more higher lows in here today, and getting above 148 is where I think we might get the next push from. But just because the market is kind of sluggish here, we've still got some great moves. See Google today up 510. These Chinese stocks went bananas today. There was a lot of opportunity in those. Let's take a look at the stocks we've been mentioning. I kind of feel bad about this China Tech Development because I had mentioned this one yesterday. We got involved at $8.05 yesterday, and I'd suggested a stop at 7.85, and we got stopped out of it. I was out of the stock yesterday. I got back in. You have to learn to get back in. And I got back in right as it just started taking off right in here today. And not to rub it in, but just to show you that you've got it. Just because you get stopped out and it looks bad at one moment doesn't mean you can't make money in it. When you look at Baidu.com or Beidou, whatever the heck you want to call it, this stock seems to be leading a lot of these Chinese internet plays. We also got stopped out of Cyclone, SCLN. We got involved at 280. I don't 280, I guess, and got stopped out with a dime loss. But the stocks that that I had mentioned last night, Also, pretty tough day actually for a lot of these. And Akamai, I had the right idea of waiting for a pullback and then buying on strength. What happened in here is the stock did pull back to $50.10. Then it rallied. You can't even see it on this 10-minute time frame. Let's take a look at the 2-minute time frame. You can see here it pulled back to 50.10, and it did get above 50.25, which is where I had suggested buying. So then we did get stopped out as it broke back down to 49.68 right in here. But then I guess there was some kind of rumor that Google was buying these guys out or something today, and it started moving higher again. Hopefully, you used your own discipline and set your own stops in there. And the same goes for ARXX, because we were going to buy that one above 12.31, and we were going to set our stop at $12.10. We're still in this trade as the low was $12.12. But I would say keep your stop at $12.10 for ARXX. We did have a nice trade in this China Automotive, symbol CAAS. And once you see one stock going in a group, you want to look at the other ones, especially when it seems like a frenzy. And that's the way it seemed for a lot of these stocks. So this China Automotive, we wanted to buy it above $10.35. That's where you could see it was kind of extended in there, but I bought it anyways because it was showing such strong momentum. These internet Chinese internet stocks, and this isn't even an internet stock, but they act like it acts like one. But anyways, the stock was trading massive volume in here, low volume consolidation, then another push towards the close, and a little bit further pullback. I think that this stock still has the potential to make it up at least to that $11.25 target I had placed on it, and possibly continue even higher. So if you still got some of that stock, I would say you probably want your stop maybe around $10.48 or so. I'm still in it, and that's probably about where I'll put my stop. SMSI, this was another piece of garbage today. It broke out past our level at 1705, and then did end up breaking down below our stop at 1672, so a stop was taken in there. We also got stopped out of our short today. Our short was CBST. We're going to sell below 2155. I wanted to get a head start before the people who were selling below yesterday's lows, but we ended up getting stopped out there as well with about a 20-cent loss in CBST. And the other Chinese play that we have is this United Microelectronics, symbol UMC. And this stock we were buying above $3.24. It hasn't really done much yet. It's a listed stock. They're typically slower, but I think the stock is set up nicely for continued upside.